Okay, this video is about the best male actors, and I included what was probably their best movie or maybe their most famous movie. And these are actors who I like. They're good. And I sort of am doing this for a couple of reasons. Number one, I get an idea and I just make it into a video real fast. The second one is, I noticed lots of them were Irish, and I like Irish, of course. My father's from Ireland. And also, I'm very sad about Ireland. Ireland, basically, you could think of it as being a conquered country. The elites have opened up the border and they really sort of almost completely destroyed Ireland. It's like a country that went extinct. And this was done deliberately. And I think this is what is coming for France. And anyways, it makes me sad because it's been said that if a country's conquered, and Ireland was conquered 1,000 years ago by the British, but Ireland still survived. It still had a culture and a people. But when there's an open border and a loss of free speech, the country will disappear, and it looks like it might never come back. So that makes me sad. But anyways, I was kind of amazed at how many great actors there were from Ireland. Ireland was great at producing literary people and actors. And anyway, so here they are. And this is also good for young people because modern pop culture is so bad and it's so stupid, ignorant, vulgar, feminized that it's good for them to see, what great movies are like and great actors. All of these are good, like, role models for their genre. Okay, Charlton Heston, he was a great actor. Ten Commandments and Ben-Hur, they're both awesome movies. Jimmy Stewart, this is like my favorite, like, all-time family movie. It's the best. A Wonderful Life. I mean, that's real life. You got sadness and disappointments, and you do the best you can and make the most of it. It's beautiful, and it's just great. I mean, it's as great a movie as you can make. It's a Wonderful Life. Spencer Tracy with Boys Town. I watched that movie when I was a kid growing up. That was a very big movie when I was a kid. Bing Crosby, The Bells of St. Mary's. It's a beautiful movie. And that's what Catholic school was pretty much like. It was good. And I like Bing Crosby as a singer, too. Okay, Liam Neeson, he did a great job in Les Miserables, a great novel by Victor Hugo, one of the top 3 all-time best novels ever written. That up there with Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol. Oh, I could have included Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol. And I think George C. Scott was Scrooge in one of the great versions of Christmas Carol. So that's the other great book. That's actually my favorite book of all time, Christmas Carol. And then the other one would be Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. They don't really have a good version of that as a movie in English that I'm aware of. Okay, anyways, Sean Connery. He was awesome. He's the best James Bond ever by far. Okay, we love Sean Connery. When Sean Connery James Bond movie came, we all went to the theater. It was a big deal when I was a kid growing up. My dad loved James Bond too. Okay, George C. Scott and Patton. When Patton first came out, it was kind of a dramatic, awesome movie. And back in those days, man, we would look forward to seeing that when that would come on. It would be on TV once a year. Sylvester Stallone, the Rocky movies were awesome. They first came out like when I was in junior high, and they were a big deal. And so we love Sylvester Stallone. And the Rambo movies were great too. Clint Eastwood, all of his movies are kind of the same, so I didn't list a specific movie, but they're good. Clint Eastwood was good. Dirty Harry was sort of one of his most famous movies, but he's just good in everything, kind of like the same character in every movie. And same thing with Bruce Lee. All of his movies are kind of the same, but I love Bruce Lee. Okay, Bruce Lee was awesome. Chinese Connection, all kinds of great stuff. I remember scenes from Bruce Lee movies. I used to watch them over and over again. Okay, Tom Cruise. Top Gun was an awesome movie. Tom Cruise, the actor, is not one of my favorite actors, but in Top Gun, he was like perfect. It was an awesome movie. Mel Gibson. He was Braveheart's like one of the best movies of all time. It's just an awesome movie. And Patriot is a great movie as well. Russell Crowe. He's part Irish, New Zealand, Welsh, Scottish guy, and man, was he a great actor. And Gladiator, he was just awesome. He captured Rome perfectly. The Robin Hood movie was a little bit of a silly movie, but it was still nice. I liked him. Bill Murray, he's probably maybe my favorite actor of all time. Bill Murray, here he is in Caddyshack with Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney Dangerfield is one of my top favorite comedians of all time, like the best comedians of all time. Rodney Dangerfield, sort of like the patron saint of the middle-aged man, and what he endures in marriage. Sam Kinison is the funniest comedian who ever lived. He had such incredible delivery. He's just the funniest guy ever. Eddie Murphy was awesome too. He had a couple great comedy routines back in the 1980s. And his movie Trading Places, that was my favorite of his movies. He had some other good movies too, where he's quite good. Eddie Murphy's just funny. Let's see what else. Who else was a great comedian? Well, I really like the Monty Python and the Holy Grail stuff as well. They had some great movies. The Monty Python and the Holy Grail was the best of the movies by Monty Python. Okay, all this stuff, if you watch it, you'll see this is just good stuff. Bill Murray, my favorite movie by Bill Murray would be Groundhog Day. He was also great in Stripes and Caddyshack and some other movies. Steve Martin, he really sort of hit his peak with the movie called The Jerk. That was a funny movie. Jim Belushi, man, he had so much talent, and he was great in Animal House. Okay, he had a lot of comic potential. He got mixed up on drugs, ruined his life, but at one time he was a really great comedian actor. John Candy, he was lots of fun. I liked him in everything he ever did, but Uncle Buck was probably my favorite movie by John Candy. Chris Farley, he's kind of like John Candy. He's great in everything he's in. Beverly Hills Ninja, probably my favorite. But you know what? I love Tommy Boy too. Big fat guy in a little coat. Eddie Murphy, like I said, Trading Places is my favorite of his movie, but he was funny in everything. Rodney Dangerfield, yeah, my favorite for him, of course, was Caddyshack. John Cleese, we talked about him in Monty Python's. Now, I really liked Tom Hulce, he played Mozart in Amadeus. And so he's not as famous of an actor, but he did an awesome job as Mozart in Amadeus. And that way he played Mozart and Amadeus totally rang true for me. I hung around with a bunch of, Juilliard musicians, okay? So I knew musicians. And I also have been around a few geniuses in my life, and he captures the best of the geniuses. A playful sense, a love of what they do, and he rings true for me as a great genius, and that's why I love that movie Amadeus. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I sort of feel that in my own heart when I try to do creative things. This guy, he also did a great job in this last movie, which is sort of the movie of the year, the best movie in a long time. I haven't gone to a movie in a theater in over 20 years because I think they all suck. Nowadays, they're all made like, retarded. They're made for like retarded audience, and they're all just action and superficial and all that other stuff. But anyways, this is for any young person. It'll give you a sense of what it was like and what's good. Some role models and some value judgment perspectives.